in this Super Bowl, you will have 2 black quarterbacks starting. Jalen Hurts, of course, for the Philadelphia Eagles, and Patrick Mahomes for the Kansas City Chiefs. And, Rob, I'm going to say that, I mean, it's a great – well, let's let Mahomes sum it up right now.
To be on the world stage and have 2 black quarterbacks starting in the Super Bowl, I think it's special. And I've learned more and more about the history of the black quarterbacks since I've been in this league. And the guys that came before me and Jalen set the stage for this. And now I'm just glad that we can kind of set the stage for guys that are kids that are coming up now. And so it'll be a great game against 2 great teams and against another great quarterback. So I'm excited to go out there and try to do what we can to win against a great team.
And, Rob, it is a great moment to have these 2 guys. And Mahomes is obviously the best quarterback in the league, African-American, has some mobility, can run, but really is a passer. He's a terrific passer. And Jalen Hurts, of course, is a terrific leader and has all the intangibles you want, high character, great work ethic, galvanizes the locker room, just all of those things that you want in a quarterback. And, Rob, I got to be honest, I think one of the great things about this is that, yes, it's a big story. It's a noteworthy story. But it isn't all over the place. It isn't dominant. It isn't like, oh, wow, we got 2 black quarterbacks. And that shows that having black quarterbacks or just a quarterback, not discriminating against quarterbacks because of their color or not letting quarterbacks of a certain race play the position is really fading. I mean, obviously you have several black quarterbacks in the league. You've had several number 1 picks who are African-American at the quarterback position. And so I think that's actually really good, Rob, that it's not as big a deal as it would have been 10 years ago to have 2 black starting quarterbacks.
Yeah, I get that. I do. But I do think it's significant. I really do.
Yeah, no, I think it's significant. I'm just saying, it's not dominating the news cycle.
Right, I agree with that. Look at the cheerleaders going by. Wow, okay. Hello. Yeah, I'm sorry.
They're young enough to be your granddaughters. Forget daughters. Granddaughters.
I need a cold shower.
Yeah, all right. No, but Chris, I understand your point. I do think there's significance. I'm glad that he even acknowledged it and wasn't like, oh, I didn't even realize it or it didn't matter. No, he understands the history. It wasn't that long ago. It was 1988 that Doug Williams became the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Chris, 1980, the league's been around 100 years.
Well, that's 35 years ago.
Right. I know, but I'm just saying.
1988.
And now you have a situation where you have 2 very different quarterbacks. It's not like you're a stereotypical anything.
Right.
This is how black quarterbacks can play and win any way this game. That's what I love about this the most.
Yep.
And you could have had two pocket passes, Chris, and it still would be significant. But this is even more to me.
Right.
Because of the running aspect. And because all those kids who play in college, and they play that running style in college to win, Chris. And then when it's time to make the transition, they go, that doesn't work here.
Yep.
No. Look at Lamar. You can't win big. You might win 75% of your games, and you might be able, but you can't turn that into a championship. And that's what they always had.
Yep.
And was able to use and say the reason why they weren't drafting somebody high or the reason why they weren't going with that style quarterback.
Yep. No doubt. And Rob, there were so many black quarterbacks, even back in the 80s in college, who were option quarterbacks.
But who were great college players, Chris.
The best, yes. I mean, you had several quarterbacks. We mentioned Charlie Ward.
He was
I can't remember who we were talking about. He won the Heisman.
Right.
Remember, was it Tony Rice at Notre Dame? Turner Gill at Nebraska. Oklahoma always had a black quarterback running the wishbone or the option. And they never got a shot.
Never.
They never. And I will say this: it was obviously dominant among black quarterbacks in that regard. But you even had some white quarterbacks.
Tim Tebow.
Well, but Tebow couldn't couldn't throw, but he got a shot.
But I'm saying
he did get a shot.
He did get a shot.
But like a Scott Frost,
okay,
who was a great college quarterback, was a runner,
and everybody
never even got a shot.
Right.
It was, to your point, this is actually good for just running quarterbacks of any race.
That's what I mean. And also, Chris, some of those guys might be sitting back now saying, imagine if I was playing now.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Like I could have made the NFL. We talked about it where who were we talking to the other day who said that they turned him into a who was that? He was a quarterback in college.
Yeah, he was Kerry Rhodes.
Kerry Rhodes, and said, you know,
I never even knew he was a quarterback.
Nobody did, but a lot of those guys, the best athletes, Chris, were quarterbacks or shortstops for their baseball teams or whatever, and they go, you're just too good. You need to pitch. You need to give up quarterback. You know what I mean? And then those guys could have gotten opportunity.
And I'm going to say this. I mean, people look at Patrick Mahomes and say, wow, he's doing so many things we hadn't seen before and this and that. Who knows, Rob? I mean, who knows if you would have seen something like that before? When you consider the success of African-American athletes, who's to say that had black quarterbacks been, able to play the position as they played every other position, say in 1985 or 1980, that you may not have seen something like this before. You know what I mean?
No, right.
I mean, so Tony Dungy said it, I think he was talking about black coaches, about how it's not only discriminatory toward African Americans, it lessens the game. Like when you're not bringing in a diversity of people or allowing a diversity of people to have whatever role they're qualified for, the game's not going to be as good as it could be. And he's told us on our show, he thinks Charlie Ward could have been like Peyton Manning. Now, I don't necessarily believe that, but he did coach Peyton Manning, so he knows better than us.
And
he's a great coach.
And Charlie Ward never even got a sniff.
No. That's why he went to the NBA.
Right. And that's the shame of it. It's like, imagine playing major college football, winning a Heisman Trophy, right? And they're like, we don't have any. Nah, we don't do that here. We don't play that.
Yeah.
You're not 6'4". You're not, Charlie Ward was what is he?
He was about 6'1".
6'1", but you know what I mean. You're not 6'4". You don't have broad shoulders.
And that's
you're not
the thing, too.
prototypical.
Back then, you didn't think guys were, they had to be a certain height. I mean, Doug Flutie got a shot.
Right, but they had what they consider a prototypical quarterback.
And that's what's good. Like, you're not it's just opening it up because, as you said, Patrick Mahomes is a terrific passer. But Jalen Hurts is a combo guy. Running quarterback, can throw it, But yeah, it's good for the game because it's bringing in different styles of play and making things really exciting.
I'm excited about it. I actually, it's so different, and who's going to get it done, and with Jalen has a golden opportunity. Can you imagine, Chris, from where he was to leading his team to this great record, best in the NFL, and then beating Patrick Mahomes in a like seriously in a Super Bowl? How'd you go from that to that?
Yeah, he's a really impressive young man, as is Mahomes. I mean, that's the other thing, Rob. And I said this last week. Remember, because we both have lived through, as have many of our listeners, the time when they said blacks couldn't play quarterback.
That was real. We're not
weren't
like
smart
talking.
enough, weren't, couldn't throw the ball, whatever they want to say. And over time, Rob, it was like, remember, you used to have a lot of times you used to have a white safety. Because, they're in somewhat of a lead position on that defense.
To run the defense.
Right.
There was a long time there was not a black center, Chris, in the NFL.
Right, same reason.
For a long time.
I mean, when we were really coming up in the 70s,
to snap the ball. Oh, my God, you can't let a black guy snap the ball.
It was like you had black receivers and running backs and some defensive back. You had a few here at other positions, but it was like the speed positions. Linebacker and stuff like that. And now, and so the point I made last week was all of the things. And I look, take this toward anything in life. Take it toward, academic and intellectual pursuits. But so many of the things all of the things we've been told and even taught that we couldn't do, just straight up lies. And obviously we've known that as African Americans, but this is just an example that is right up in your face. And Rob, when you look at the things that really make Mahomes and Hurts special, Mahomes, just an incredible passer. I mean, yeah, he can run a little bit. He's got a little bit of mobility. He's, got some athleticism and all that. But he is a terrific passer out of the pocket and inside of the pocket. And then Jalen Hurts, it is, yes, he brings athleticism and strength and all that. But really, the thing that makes him so special is his mindset, his mentality, his positive mindset is strong. He's strong-willed. He's a leader. He's intelligent. He works hard. Those are all stereotypes that we didn't work hard. We're just born coming out of the womb as a great athlete. We can't throw the football. We can't be the decision maker. All of this in these two guys and others in the league are being entirely dispelled.
Absolutely, and that's what makes this a special moment and a big moment. And again, it's not Doug Williams,
right?
But it does have a place, Chris. It does when we look back at it and where the black quarterback has evolved. It does.
And Rob, was it 2006 when it was Lovie Smith against Tony Dungy?
Yep. First time.
For two black. It's not even that. That was a bigger story.
Yep.
And again, that's why I think it's good. Look, if we go down the line, close to half of the quarterbacks, close, and I don't think it's quite half, are black in the league. And it's not, I like that it's not the focal point of all the media that you got two black quarterbacks. Remember, who was it? Was it Donovan McNabb that was asked, what's it like to be a black quarterback?
That was at a Super Bowl.
That was like that not that long ago. It was about 15 years ago.
The question was, how long have you been a black quarterback? Can you believe that was asked?
Somebody let that come out of their mouth.
Some woman asked that question at a Super Bowl. I don't know if she was a credentialed, you know what I mean, or working with a news organization. They have people in wedding dresses and all that crazy stuff.
Right.
So how long have you been a black quarterback? I mean.
So, yeah, it's just the fact that it's like not a huge story. I do think that's good. Like if we have another, I'm sure at some point we will, another black president. It won't be as huge of a deal, which is good.
Right.
Because that means we're making some progress and stuff. So,
no doubt.